Hi, I'm Steve Matthews from Acoem Vibraline. Today we're going to demonstrate a horizontal shaft alignment with the EVO shaft alignment tool. EVO is a touch screen, so the first thing we'll do is enter the horizontal shaft alignment program. Before we get started, I want to describe a couple of things about our setup here. We have a demonstrator that's meant to represent a stationary and movable, generally a driven and a driver machine. The other thing to take note of here is the sensors. The sensors are the slimmest sensor on the market today, able to get into tight spots on smaller machines. And it is a line laser with a very large digital detector. And two things of note about that is the setup is very easy. In other words, aiming S to M and M to S was done simply by moving the sensors up and down on the post. Also, the digital sensor allows us to apply some ambient light filtering so that sunlight is not an issue in doing alignments outside. Now that I've got my setup on the shafts, I can go to my precision alignment. Now, our Guide You user interface is meant to take the user step by step through the shaft alignment process. So the first thing to do is get the dimensions on the machine, and that is going to be from sensor to sensor is 8 inches. M sensor to the center of the coupling is 3.75 inches. And then from M sensor to the front feet of the movable machine is 0. And then front feet to rear feet is 7 inches. Now that I've got my dimensions, the next step is to select a tolerance. Shaft alignment tolerances are based on machine speed. The faster it rotates, the more precise of an alignment we want. So we'll select 1800 as a tolerance, and now we can move into measuring the alignment. So we can start anywhere and stop anywhere. With our measurements, we'll take a series of 3 measurements. That was the first, second measurement, and then a third and final measurement. And we will get our shaft alignment results. Now, once we have the results, we'll be able to see if we're in tolerance or out of tolerance. Okay, now with the measurements complete, we have a presentation of the alignment, the vertical and the horizontal, and as you can see, all the angles and offsets are red. This means that this shaft alignment is out of tolerance and we need to make adjustments. Now, before we start, I want to describe the process that we'll go through here. We call it vertical. When doing a shaft alignment, we need to make adjustments in the vertical and the horizontal. We'll do that all in one step. We call that vertical. So what this does for the user is minimize the amount of time spent loosening and tightening bolts. So first step in that process is going to be the vertical adjustment with shims. So as you can see with the Guide You interface, the EVO is telling me to add shims to the rear feet and add shims to the front feet. Again, I'm not going to tighten the bolts down because my next adjustment is in the horizontal. And you can see again here, the guidance is with a set of scaled arrows that tell me how far I need to move. That's here. And then here I can see whether or not I'm in tolerance. So that's the angle and the offset. So as I move this machine into tolerance, the adjustment at the feet becomes smaller, the arrows scale, and eventually I'll get my angle and offset into tolerance, at which point both icons will turn green. So now I'm in tolerance for an 1800 RPM machine, and I can tighten my bolts down. So I've done the vertical and the horizontal at the same time. Again, we call that vertical. And at this point I can remeasure. Take my set of 3 measurements. And on my 3rd and final measurement, I get the results, at which point I can save and document this alignment as completed because I have green icons that indicates whether or not you're in tolerance, and we can go and save this alignment to the file folder, at which point you can transfer it in various different formats. There it is on the screen, what the documentation will look like, what the alignment condition is, what the tolerances were, and a time and a date stamp. That is the conclusion of our EVO laser horizontal shaft alignment. Thanks for watching. High quality and easy to use tools are not the only reason to do business with us here at Acoem Vibraline. We offer a unique lifetime warranty. Our repair and calibration lab, which is housed here in our Richmond, Virginia headquarters, is ISO 17025 qualified and offers 2 to 3 day repair and calibration turnaround times. We have built a world-class training organization focusing on a hands-on approach to all of our training programs. And our training team is all qualified as experienced maintenance personnel. We have produced hundreds of videos and blogs, largely focused on instructional content. You'll find many of the topics to be useful in shaft alignment and condition monitoring. And finally, we offer a complete package from our shaft alignment products to our new Acoem Advisor reliability services to our OneProd condition monitoring products. Thanks for watching. We look forward to earning your business now and in the future.